Mr. Potato, I think he answered the question quite fairly. If you don't understand it, please ask your question again in the chat, and I'll try to repeat it on your behalf, and maybe we'll get a better answer to your understanding.
Yeah, great. I don't have to get really angry at him when he tells me I don't understand, which I absolutely do because I paraphrased back his question to him, took it apart with logical consistency, and provided evidence that anybody can look up in the form of the Black Swan image. Feel free to check it out. Earth isn't blocking Jack. There is no Earth curve blocking anything. We don't have Earth curve. It's debunked. He just didn't like it. So he told me as an ad hominem, he didn't understand, did he? Yeah, I did. You don't have Earth curve. We debunked it in 2020. Black Swan.
Why is there a natural cutoff for a curve when I look out there instead of it just being flat for miles and miles?
Okay, you don't. We've debunked that. We debunked it in 2020 with a logical consistency argument called modus tollens,
And
labelled the
explain that?
blacks. What the hell?
Continue, please.
Every single guest so far has talked through my answer. Can I just point that out? I'm not moaning at you, I am. I'm just pointing out to my audience. Not a single answer has come so far from me that hasn't been interrupted. You can feel free if you want to take Mr. Potato Head off mute so we can demonstrate how many times he gets triggered by the answer.
Yeah, and just really quickly, you guys don't need to ask him to answer the question while he's talking. Obviously, he's answering the question, right? Please.
Yeah.
Feel free, ask again. Ask again.
You said you have this study, this thing. Are you able to, let's say, explain it? You said there was this thing that was debunked in 2020. I've heard that. Explain how it's been debunked.
Yeah, I was. With the modus tollens argument that we called the Black Swan, that was about the point that you interrupted last time. Should we see if I can get any further this time? Yeah, I won't get any much further this time.
Mr. Potato Head, please, I request that you allow him to speak. I don't want to put you on mute while he speaks. You can control yourself, right?
Can you control yourself, Mr. Potato Head? For the answer, this is going to be the third attempt now. We don't want to server mute you. We just want you to be tolerable of a reasonable answer. I'll try again. We'll see how I get on. So, we have debunked the assertion that Earth has a physical hill getting in the way of boats and buildings, with a logical consistency argument that's very triggering, called the Black Swan. Karl Popper originated it. The idea that if you assert that all swans are white, you only need to show one black swan to debunk that as a claim. Now, in the case of our Black Swan, we showed that where you would assert boats and buildings get blocked by a hill in the way called Earth curve, we can show that the hill that's supposed to be in the way of a set of oil rigs isn't in the way of it. It's behind it. It's kind of like you walk up to a bridge and it's got a fire hydrant just beyond the crest of the bridge. You can't see the fire hydrant because the bridge is in the way. Like you say Earth curve is, blocking boats and buildings and stuff. Now, one day you come along to the exact same point that you get to every day and the fire hydrant's blocked by the bridge, and the bridge is behind the fire hydrant. Because that's what physical bridges that obscure fire hydrants do. Yeah, they don't do that. And likewise, an Earth curve that's physically blocking boats and buildings wouldn't move beyond the thing it's supposed to physically block. So based on that premise, demonstrated in the image we call the Black Swan, we form a logical consistency argument, modus tollens. If the Earth was a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles, then every distance to horizon measurement, as claimed by you to block boats and buildings, could be no more than 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, as laid down in the begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective hijacking Earth curve calculations that you would use to make that claim. Meanwhile, in the Black Swan image, the horizon's behind the things that's supposed to be blocked by it. Ergo, Earth has no Earth curve edge horizon in the form of your claim, and the Earth is not a sphere, demonstrably not blowing up to vast times bigger than you'd have to have, because physical hills don't do that. And if you're saying there's a physical hill blocking boats and buildings, we debunked it in 2020. I thank you.
Okay. your whole answer, right? I was simply asking, can you explain it in depth of how you debunked? I'm not asking for an example. I'm asking for how you debunked it, not some example of how a bridge is obscuring some fire hydrant. If you want, there was this, I remember this photo of a flat earther who was talking about oil rigs, right? In the photo, it looks like there was supposed to be a car, but there wasn't. But if you look in the background, there's a horizon. So he debunked himself in the same photo he was talking about. I'm asking for an in-depth of how it was debunked, not of this is why
Okay.
and this is what.
You want more
Can you give an
clarity?
in-depth?
Gotcha. You want me to explain it further? Yeah?
Yeah, like a scientist would explain it, not how Joe Schmo would explain it.
I know. You see, that's a category error. I'll have to
Because
address
I'm-
that first if you can tolerate it. See, unfortunately, some people are ignorant. This, in this instance, is you, Mr. Potato Head. Because your ignorance has led you to believe that science can explain what is circumstance, like a photograph, concrete nouns and things of that nature. Whereas science deals with cause and effect relationships. Nothing's happening in the black swan image that shows that the horizon's not Earth curve because it's beyond the things it's supposed to block. So that's the bit I'll now focus on. Now we've explained that that's not a cause and effect relationship that would be dealt with by anything to do with science. So having a scientist explain it means you don't understand what science is because that's a category error. This isn't a cause and effect relationship. It's just a horizon beyond oil rigs that you claim would be blocked by them by a hill called Earth curve that you've now asked me to explain how that Earth curve you say blocks things works. It doesn't block things. We can show it's not blocking these oil rigs, it's behind them. Therefore not Earth curve. Do I need to dumb it down one step more, or do you understand now? Earth curve not blocking oil rigs. Like math says it will.
I don't think you understand what I'm trying to say. I'm asking you.
I absolutely do understand. Just kick him out for ad homing me. I understand implicitly what you've understood. I explained it back to you.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Potato, I think he answered the question quite fairly. If you don't understand it, please ask your question again in the chat, and I'll try to repeat it on your behalf, and maybe we'll get a better answer to your understanding.
Yeah, great. I don't have to get really angry at him when he tells me I don't understand, which I absolutely do because I paraphrased back his question to him, took it apart with logical consistency, and provided evidence that anybody can look up in the form of the black swan image. Feel free to check it out. Earth isn't blocking Jack. There is no Earth curve blocking anything. We don't have Earth curve. It's debunked. He just didn't like it. So he told me as an ad hominem, he didn't understand, did he? Yeah, I did. You don't have Earth curve. We debunked it in 2020. Black Swan.